Wow, that second case was so good. I hope this third case is even better.
Hold it! Objection!
Ugh, that's weird. Well, at least my defendant isn't a pedo, so I don't feel guilty about defending him. Who the fuck wrote this case? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great. Today, I'll be reviewing Ace Attorney and Justice for All. Wait, no, sorry. Ace Attorney, Justice for All, sorry. I read the name and immediately assume it's the Metallica album.
Like, yeah, it's also a line from the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever, but who the fuck cares?
Anyways, the video I did on the first game actually performed pretty decently for one of my videos, so I decided I might as well go and make the second one now. I was planning to do a Justice for All review video anyways, but now that my video on the original game's gotten a lot of views, I feel more motivated to do it. This video will play out very similarly to the first one, where I'll talk about the cases, then the art, music, etc., and then I'll give my final verdict on the game. I don't actually know whether or not this video will be longer than the first one, which is a long video, because, I mean, on one hand, there are less cases, which would usually mean there's less to talk about, but I have a lot to say about this game. So without further ado, let's get started. Here's my review of Ace Attorney Game 2.
Than the completely unnecessary tutorial case from Game 2.
Especially compared to some of the cases in Game 2. It was even worse when the case coming after this, the first case of Game 2, was really bad. Yeah. Before anyone starts calling me out for being too harsh on this case, there's a good reason as to why I hate it so much, and why other people do as well. Like I said in my last video, the tutorial case in the first Ace Attorney game worked well because it introduced all of the mechanics and the main character. So why wouldn't a tutorial case work for the second game? Because the game mechanics are almost exactly the same and don't need a reintroduction. Sure, there are new mechanics such as being able to present people's profiles as evidence, but these could easily just be taught to you in a regular case. A prime example of this is Case 2 of this game, which I'll talk about later, which introduces the Magatama or whatever mechanic through the story. Wait, how do you even pronounce it? And you might be thinking, yeah, maybe a tutorial case wasn't exactly needed, but it's fine, right? Actually, wrong for a couple of reasons. First of all, unlike the first game, this game only consists of 4 cases instead of 5. This includes a tutorial case, meaning that after you finish the tutorial case, you only have 3 regular cases to play. Second of all, this case is double the length of the tutorial case in Game 1, standing at a full hour of tutorial as opposed to the 20 minutes of the Game 1 tutorial case. And finally, the case itself sucked. I think the only positive things about it are that it introduces Maggie Bird, who is a great character, and still has the great writing style of Ace Attorney. However, this is pretty much where the good things stop. So you may be wondering, how exactly did they manage the plot in this tutorial case?
The answer is that they didn't.
See, with the first case, the plot worked because it was Phoenix's first case and he needed to learn the basics. But with this case, Phoenix gets knocked out and gets amnesia. No, I'm not kidding. The highly anticipated second game of Ace Attorney starts out with a fucking amnesia subplot. The entirety of the case, aside from the jokes, is so fucking unbearable just because of how stupid they made Phoenix after getting hit over the head. I mean, I guess someone having amnesia wouldn't remember things, but why is there amnesia in this game in the first place? And also, something else that is stupid is that the culprit is so obviously the killer, and nobody picks up on it. So in conclusion, the first case of Game 2 is an unnecessary and stupid case because of it being unnecessarily long, having a horrible plot, and of course, having an annoying culprit. This mess of a case cannot be saved from any amount of large bananas and gets a 4 out of 10 from me. When I said I had a lot to say about this game, I meant it because I have some strong opinions about it, as you've heard so far. One of these strong opinions I have is one that is commonly shared throughout the Ace Attorney community. Game 2 is extremely uneven in terms of quality. Like I said during my fit of rage, the first case was atrocious. This case, on the other hand, is absolutely perfect. The only bad thing I can think about when I think of this case is that it's extremely underrated. I think I'd go as far as to say that this is my third favorite Ace Attorney case of all time, but I know not everyone would agree. The story follows our beloved titular character, Phoenix Wright, who goes to visit Maya in Karain Village, where she's training to be a spirit medium. Maya, at the request of a doctor named Turner Gray, attempts to channel one of his former employees, who died shortly after causing a horrible accident in his clinic. However, since this is Ace Attorney we're talking about, this goes horribly wrong, and the aforementioned dead nurse possesses Maya and kills Dr. Gray. This is one of my favorite cases in the game because it's so unique and different from the other cases. Maya is obviously the suspect here, and this time, it would actually look like it was her from the perspective of someone who didn't know about spirit channeling. This makes it tougher to prove her innocent, which makes for some really interesting moments. And the greatness doesn't even stop there. Like I had said earlier, the Majatama mechanic is introduced in this case, allowing you to tell when people are lying and prove that they are. This was maybe my favorite mechanic that ever got introduced in the series, and it was so fun to try it out for the first time in this case. And that is not even the extent. Maya's little cousin, Pearl, who gives you the Majatama, is also introduced in this case, and she's literally so adorable. I love the dynamic between her and Phoenix, where Phoenix is essentially like a dad or babysitter to her. The popular Franziska von Karma gets introduced too, and she's a super cool prosecutor.
I don't know if you guys think I like Francisca or not. Yeah, are you guys able to tell?
And I won't spoil the ending, not because I'm afraid to spoil things, obviously, since I had that warning at the beginning, like literally in the first scene of the video, but because if I spoiled it, I'd be talking for longer than I already am. But let me just say, it's a huge twist and it is amazing. And I promise this is the last thing I'll talk about in this case. I'll move on to the next section in a bit, but I cannot believe I went this long without mentioning Eenie Meenie. Like, she is literally so amazing. I love her character so much. It's sad that she was not a reoccurring character. Huh, alright. I wonder when we'll find someone hiding a secret. Wow, even without putting that clip on 2x speed, it only took like 30 seconds to find somebody who was lying. This case truly is amazing and gives us details about how cruel this world is and how everyone in it is a scumbag liar. Or Eenie Meenie's just really stupid. I think it might be that, actually. Case 2 of Game 2 gets a 10 out of 10. Okay, this part of Case 2 is, like, really emotional, but, is anyone gonna mention... No? Okay, alright. Turnabout Big Top! Fun fact, this is the case I was making fun of in the intro skit. Not so fun fact that the case sucks. Yeah, it's actually really bad. Yeah. I honestly cannot believe that, looking back, I thought the Lost Turnabout was the worst case in the game, because at least that one was somewhat short. Turnabout Big Top is a 4-hour-long disaster that just gets progressively worse. In this case, you have to defend Max Galactica, a circus performer accused of murdering the ringleader. Aside from the fact that this has literally nothing to do with the plot, nothing seems really wrong with the case until you actually play it. Every single character is annoying except for Regina and Acro up until the very end. The game literally penalizes you for no reason at one point. There are so many contradictions and plot holes, the case gets overly complicated and soon starts making no sense, and it drags on for way too long. There are also some character-specific problems. Your defendant, Max Galactica, and Ben Trillo, one of the witnesses, are two fully grown adults crushing on a 16-year-old girl. Ben was already annoying, so this just kinda makes you hate him even more, but Max is your fucking defendant. You're supposed to like him. And also, this isn't a character personality thing, but Acro's character design is a pretty stereotypical and somewhat racist depiction of a certain race. And the fact that he ends up being the murderer doesn't exactly help the game's case either. So, as you can see, I absolutely hate this case, and it is my least favorite one. Not just in this game, but also in the entire Ace Attorney series. But does it have any saving grace? Well, Regina's theme is pretty catchy. She's one of the only good characters in the case. The writing, for the most part, is really good. For example, the banter between Maya and Phoenix. And Max Galactica may be a horrible character and person, but he has a cool magic trick he can do, I guess. Look, now he's gay, and now he's homophobic. Wait, you guys do realize that I'm bi and can literally make these jokes, right? Have you been, or have you not been paying attention to, anything I have, ever said? However, that is where the good things stop. Turnabout big top, more like turnabout big flop. Right, guys? Right? I'm really funny, I promise. Case 3 is not a clown, it's the entire circus. 3 out of 10. This is the fourth and final case of Ace Attorney Justice for All, and no, I am telling the truth, I'm not gonna pull the same trick I did last time. But this case, oh my god, it is so fucking perfect. I really cannot express how much I love it, except by saying that it's my second favorite case in any Ace Attorney game. So, in this case, an actor named Matt Ungard gets accused of murdering fellow actor Juan Corrida, who star in the popular children's shows The Nickel Samurai and Jammin' Ninja, respectively. It's up to you to defend Matt. Also, doesn't this case sound familiar somehow? Like perhaps another case where you have to defend an actor from a samurai-related children's show? Yeah, sometimes I like to jokingly call this case Turnabout Samurai 2, but trust me, these cases are not similar at all. First of all, this case is 100 times better, but second of all, well, you'll see why this case is much different in a minute. The case starts out with Phoenix, Maya, Pearl, and Will Powers of Steel Samurai fame all eating a fancy dinner at a nice hotel. They're all here because of a special event for the Nickel Samurai and Jammin' Ninja shows. Well, probably not all of them. Maya probably forced them to go. Speaking of Maya, after eating, she makes them all go to the place where they're holding the announcement. Here, you'll also meet Oldbag from the Steel Samurai case, who is a security guard who unpolitely tells you to screw off. Now, if you're like me, you probably noticed first thing that there's a major lack of people named Penny Nichols in this case, but I'll let it slide, I guess. However, if you're mentally sane and not attached to some random NPC named Penny Nichols, then you probably did not notice that firsthand, or you just didn't notice it at all, which is also perfectly understandable. Anyways, Maya leaves after one of the hotel staff tells her that there's a call waiting for her at the front desk. This leaves you to explore the place. Eventually, you'll find Detective Gumshoe and Lotta from Case 4. Upon your arrival, Gumshoe accidentally tells you about how somebody was murdered. Juan Corrida, the Jammin' Ninja star. Oh, and also Matt has been arrested for suspected murder. From here on out, it's up to you to solve the case. After hearing that explanation, you'd probably think, it seems like a pretty basic case, right? How is it deserving out of a 10 out of 10? Well, here's why. Remember when I said that Maya was taken to the front desk to call someone? Well, turns out that she's been kidnapped by the person posing as a member of the hotel's staff, and he will only return her if Matt Ungard gets a perfect acquittal and is proven not guilty of all charges. The stakes are already really high here, and they make you want to solve this case and get Maya home. At least, you want to defend your client until... has a scar? Okay. Oh my god, he has poop water. Yep, this guy's evil. He's definitely the murderer. So as it turns out, there's a major plot twist. Matt really is the person who planned the murder. He hired the kidnapper as an assassin to kill Juan Carita and kidnap Maya, to both get away with murder and to blackmail you in the process. Just as you thought the stakes couldn't get any higher, now you're being forced to prove a guilty man innocent in order to save someone who's like a sister to you. And I haven't even scratched the bottom of the barrel here about things that are so great about this case. Everything leading up to that one big plot twist is so great. For example, the first time you see Maya's kidnapper disguised as the bellboy, you know something's really suspicious about him. And then when the moment hits where he actually kidnaps Maya, it's just a fucking insane feeling. Another example is when you use the Majatama for the first time in this case. You use it on Matt and Guard himself to see if he's really the killer or not, and when he says he is not, it doesn't show any psych locks, meaning that he isn't lying. This gives you a false sense of security, like, oh yeah, so he's not the killer, this is going to be a safe case. Well, not really, because like I said, he's actually the killer, but he's also technically not lying, as he hired someone to do the killing, but he's the one that planned everything. The case also makes you feel so much genuine fear, too. Like, the first time you see that weird, creepy wine cellar place with the unknown date, time, and location, it's just really unnerving for no reason. And then when the killer appears out of nowhere with that creepy sprite of his, just makes you feel awful for Maya. I swear, every segment where you got to play as Maya and just explore around just gave me such a feeling of unease. Like this one segment where she's just literally walking around, and then the killer just appears out of nowhere, and you don't know what he does to her. Like, it's fucking terrifying. And also, pay attention to this room, because it's going to be important for later. But the scariest parts of the case for me will always be those moments of sudden realization. Like, I mean, yeah, it's scary when the killer just suddenly appears in Matt and Guard's house, which also is kind of foreshadowing, if you remember what I was saying earlier. But what was even fucking scarier for me was when I actually looked at the room and I was like, wait, that's the fucking door. That's the fucking door we saw earlier. Holy shit. I'm telling you guys, it's moments like these that are just scarier in the actual game. Like, the fucking music cuts out and it feels like a horror game. I'm telling you, this case is so good at making you feel things. It's so perfect. Anyways, I'm sorry. I've talked about this case for way too long. I'll stop. Oh, and by the way, I did the whole video without mentioning the whole Edgeworth subplot thing. Whoops. It's not too important, really. Phoenix just essentially thinks that his boyfriend killed himself, but then he's like, surprise, I'm back, let's go on a dinner date, the end. Farewell My Turnabout is one of the most dark and intense Ace Attorney cases ever created, and, in my opinion, gets a 10 out of 10. So, now that I've talked about all of the cases, do you understand what I mean when I say this game is extremely unbalanced in terms of quality? We went from an awful case to a perfect one, to a case even worse than the first, to yet another even more perfect one. It's weird having your second and third favorite Ace Attorney cases being from, in my opinion, the worst game in the series. Not that it's bad. But now, let's talk about the art, music, and other non-story related qualities of the game. The art and music in this game are both great, just like with the first game. The new music is just as memorable as it was in the first game, and the returning songs that were in the first game still hold up greatly as well. However, admittedly, there isn't much else to add here. As I said in the first video, I played these games through the Switch trilogy, meaning that everything has been remastered in the same way, and there aren't any new changes to the art and most of the music. And so with that, I think it's safe to conclude the video. Ace Attorney Justice for All is one of the most curious games I've ever played. I mean, you have two of the best cases ever, and then two of the worst ones ever. Still though, I feel like the good really outweighs the bad here, and I have a soft spot for this game. So personally, I would give Ace Attorney Justice for All a 7 out of 10. And so with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and thanks for sticking around for the whole video if you did. I mean, if you did, then you're still watching, so thank you. Unless you skipped ahead. See you on the next one. Hey everyone, once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a good day and you also like this video. Here's a reminder, all the gameplay clips that I use in this video belong to a YouTuber named LACRY, I think. So go check out their channel. They're an extremely good gameplay channel, and the link to it will be in the description. And then also, I hope you're looking forward to the video coming out next month. It won't be an Ace Attorney video. That'll be coming out in January. The December video will be the second part, the 2021 version of the Anime in Years series. So I hope you're looking forward to that. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Who wants to tell her?